I believe it's Rich Prickett in Sky 5 HD over Malibu, where we have a very active fire burning. This is exactly what we were hoping would not happen in these wind-driven conditions, and we know that homes are burning. Rich.
Frank, we're seeing at least one home here, a beachfront home in Malibu, right along Malibu Road, that had caught fire. You see that helicopter that just dropped some water on the bluffs that started fire about 30 minutes ago. Last estimate was that this has exploded up to 14 or 15 acres at this point, but I expect that number to grow. They were worried that this could spread to as much as 50 acres here along the bluffs in Malibu. This is right across the street from Pepperdine University. Firefighters now trying to put water on that home that had caught fire. You see it's right along the water and the vegetation that is already burned. Now we're hearing across the scanners that they think they've made some good progress here. They have put out the bulk of the flames, but you can see how much the wind is blowing here. So hopefully they can keep it contained to this one area here and to just under 20 acres. PCH is going to be shut down here right around Malibu Canyon Road. Again, this is right across the street from Pepperdine University, where you can see those helicopters that are taking water from the pond here, and where it has been burning, multiple helicopters here. So very aggressive attack here, and hopefully they can keep it from spreading any further. But as you mentioned, at least one structure we have seen that has caught fire here. We're not seeing any additional homes, at least at this point, and it looks like they're getting some water on that now as well. The cause of the fire, we just don't know at this point, but this is just one example of how dangerous it can be during these high winds. We talked about Topanga Canyon being shut down for the next 48 hours due to the high winds and the concerns of the fire dangers. And here we are in Malibu battling a fire just off of Malibu Canyon Road. Frank, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that and you see how close the proximity of those, beautiful oceanfront homes. That one home, you could see the black smoke billowing out of it, and then the next door neighbor right there with very little space in between those two homes. We're looking at that bluff and all of that dry brush, and it looks as though maybe the fire originated closer to the road there. And when you factor in these really high winds that we're dealing with, the low humidity, the dry brush, and the possibility of flying embers that could have been what potentially sparked this fire in Malibu.
And this is Malibu Road, right across from Pepperdine University. PCH closed in both directions. Mark, one thing we were seeing there in the pictures is the wind direction. It is definitely pushing out to sea, but the wind speeds are remarkable.
That's exactly what you're seeing, and that's exactly what we were forecasting, with the winds pushing from the east to the west. And this one started very closely to the bluff, very close to the coastal area. But right now in Malibu, winds sustained at 33 miles an hour, with gusts reaching up to 55, 32 actually, 32 miles an hour, gusts reaching up to 55 miles an hour. So yes, you can see the way the smoke is lying down and just pushing out to the coast.
Yeah. Again, as we talk to Rich, who's overhead, luckily you've got obviously Pacific Ocean, but those smaller bodies of water that the helicopter's able to dip into, and they're able to do those airdrops. You also see on the ground there, you've got firefighters and trucks getting it from that side as well. And Rich, if you can hear us, it looks like they've made some progress there on that home within the last couple of minutes even, because we did see a large amount of black smoke billowing out of that home there.
Yeah, as we started making our way over the mountains from the San Fernando Valley, we could see the dark plume of smoke, and now luckily they have those resources just outside and providing some structure protection for the homes that are directly next door. You can see you can pretty much jump from roof to roof here along these beachfront homes. So let's just hope that they can keep it from spreading through the line of homes here. But again, the bulk of the fire was in the bluffs here, just off of PCH. And just a heads up, we are seeing possibly a second fire that is now erupted in the Moore Park area. We'll have some more information on that coming up. But again, this one just right along PCH here, along Malibu Canyon Road, where this continues to burn. And you can see the backup here from, some of the cars that have pulled over here on Malibu Canyon. Let's see if they have an official closure here. That's where the closure is on PCH. So they're actually escorting forcing the traffic onto Malibu Canyon Road. So, for the time being, while they battle this, that's going to be the case. Hopefully within the next hour or so, as they continue to work, they can reopen PCH, but it's going to create quite the headache here for commuters that are making their way past Pepperdine University. And again, more and more white smoke as those helicopters just keep pouring water on the active flames here that have been burning for the past 30 minutes ago. The last estimate was 15 acres, and as we get an update on that, we'll pass that along.
Yeah, and Rich, that other fire you were mentioning, yes, there is a fire that's burning near Somis, actually, which is between Moore Park and Camarillo. To orient your minds, that's along the 118 freeway near the 34 west of Moore Park and sort of northeast of Camarillo is the town of Somis. So there's a fire burning in that area in Ventura County that is being actively fought as well. But for our viewers who are just joining us now, what we're seeing here is an airdrop we just saw in Malibu, and you can see one of the hand crews there going up along this route to try to get on top of these fires up in the hills, because there's still plenty of brush to burn there, and each piece of vegetation that burns in these kinds of wind-driven fires that then becomes an ember.
Yeah. On the phone with us this morning, Jonathan Torres, PIO with LA County Fire. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're good. Thanks for being with us. Just want to get what you know about this fire that we're seeing in Malibu, around Malibu Road and PCH, how it started and what things are looking like there.
Yes, ma'am. So apparently this morning, about 9:06, we had a dispatch call to the PCH Highway and Malibu Canyon Road there in Malibu. Mm-hmm. The on-scene time was about 09:09. It started about 5 acres, quickly grew to 15 acres in medium fuel. We stand at about 40 acres currently, with 2 structures threatened near Malibu Road.
Yeah, we see one that's fully engulfed right now. So I don't know if that's the 2 structures in addition to this one that is ablaze. But certainly, as you know, Jonathan, any sort of wind-driven fire is so difficult to fight or to do all the structure protection you folks do for us. But in this case, I guess if there's any good news, the wind is at least pushing out to sea.
That's affirmative. Our latest reports is southbound winds, so they are pushing towards from PCH on into the ocean there. That's one of our saving grace with the wind direction. But absolutely, you can see I'm watching your live feed as we speak, and you can see the ember cast falling there towards the ocean. You have the structured defense groups there putting out as much water as possible. I think you just panned away from our some of our hand crews making their way. We have pre-positioned strike teams throughout LA County because of the Santa Ana wind events here. And we're getting water on the fire.
And when you talk about the Santa Ana winds and the fact that those embers, as we know, when you have winds like these, those embers can be carried a long ways. And when you look at that stretch, those homes there along the Pacific Ocean, Jonathan, what do you tell homeowners that maybe live nearby? Is this a situation where you want to maybe leave due to the fact that flying embers are a real threat in a situation like this?
Absolutely. Embercast is a great deal of concern for us. We've known Embercast to travel as far as 1 to 2 miles from the seat of the fire. When wind-driven situations, you can expect that and further. So absolutely. As far as the residents go, we do have a system set up, ready, set, go. It's a wildfire action plan in place where we prep and defend, and we kind of just try to bolster the defense for the homes in the immediate area. We encourage residents to maintain that throughout the year now. We used to have a brush season. Now we know that to be year-round. So as far as any flammable furniture or wood piles or anything of that nature, everything from brush clearance up to 200 feet, keeping the vegetation off your roof lines, keeping the gutters clean, all that's important when we talk about structure defense. And we can see in this instance how important our Ready, Set, Go wildfire action plan is.
We were just seeing there in the bluffs, you could kind of make out some of the hand crews trying to do whatever they can. But in that case where those hand crews are in areas that have essentially burned through, I would imagine their task there is to hit the hot spots, or what? Can you give us a sense of what those hand crews might be doing?
So they're multifaceted, but absolutely along those lines of what you're talking about. They're there to create a fire break. Aside from our bulldozers that are going to be activated here pretty soon as well, they're putting in a break where the active flame and what's left of the residual is being separated from unburned fuels. So what you'll see is they're actually scratching a line, just like a bulldozer would, but manually with hand tools, and putting a line between unburned fuels and burned fuels.
Wow.
You'll also see them extending hose lines, what we call a progressive fire lay. They're going up and around and trying to anchor, flank, and pinch the fire. So they're trying to get an anchor point and try to get up the sides of it and try to flank it to keep it from progressing forward, obviously towards the coast.
Jonathan, we knew these winds were coming today. We're going to be dealing with them throughout the day. And then as Mark Kriske was saying here, we're dealing with those sundowner winds as we hit, when the sun goes down later today.
Correct.
When things,
Yes,
and we could see even gusts in some spots up to 100 miles per hour. How has LA County Fire prepared for today?
Like we said earlier, we do have pre-positioned strike teams throughout the Santa Clarita and Malibu area. When we get notice of this is when we pre-position our strike teams throughout the county. In instances where we hope these events don't happen, but as we see now, those pre-positioning have come in and are going to be key to getting this fire under control. So absolutely, wind events, a thing we see here in Southern California, and like we said, the preparation here is paying off.
And what we're seeing here, so our viewers understand, that is, I believe, PCH that has been shut down in both directions. You see one of the bulldozers that you talked about, Jonathan.
Yes, sir, I'm seeing that now.
Yeah, and it's in place there. Another hand crew moving out ahead of it, and there is another fire burning in Ventura County in the Somas
Correct.
area.
In Moorpark, correct? Yes, sir.
Right, and I just wonder when you have all of these jurisdictions that are on high alert on a wind-driven day like this.
Yes,
do you have the resources necessary right now? Do you have all other jurisdictions backfilling for fire stations and such? Do you have enough people?
Yes, sir. We absolutely do. Aside from having the necessary manpower to not only backfill but cover areas that may be dispatched to these areas. I'm not sure if you know, but we do have, in some instances, several crews or staffed engines at many fire stations throughout LA County. That being the case, the second crew would make their way towards the fire if needed. We do have a mutual aid system between ourselves and the smaller departments, as well as Ventura, Orange County, and Kern County fire departments. That being said, we do have a quick reaction force as well. I'm sure you guys, through our press day we had with the Chinook the helitankers, the current contract we have with the Quebec, the Super Scoopers. Correct. They should be, from what we heard on the radio earlier, they should be inbound as we speak.
How helpful, when you watch the aerial assault on these fires, when you see they were able to kind of dip into those little bodies of water not far from here. Mm-hmm. Do you always deploy those, or is that only in instances where maybe in a tight squeeze like this, where you see how closely those homes are together? When do you deploy those, or is it every time you get a fire like this?
And you're asking specifically about the helicopters?
Yeah.
So those are on-ground call by the incident commander. If there's a need and where we see it, the situation deems fit, we will absolutely start them at as earliest as we can.
Yeah.
And what we have throughout the county are helipspots, designated dip points where they can fill their tanks up to 1,000 gallons on our Sikorsky Firehawks. And again, 1,000 gallons. Throughout Malibu, there are one that comes to mind now is 69 Bravo. That's a very prominent dip site for the copters there. I think you could see them there. I think they're
Yep.
dipping off of the college there. I forget.
At Pepperdine.
Correct. Off of Pepperdine. So what they're doing there, they're hovering, and they're doing an aerial fill of their tanks.
It is a remarkable thing. They make it look easy, but it is an incredible skill that these folks undertake to try to protect structures and lives. If our folks are just joining us for our coverage of this fire, you're looking live at pictures from Malibu, where a fire broke out just after 9 o'clock this morning in the neighborhood of, if you're familiar with Malibu, the Malibu Bluffs, which is if Malibu Canyon Road extended past PCH, it would essentially hit right into the Malibu Bluffs. And then below that is an area called Malibu Road, and that's where there are multi-million-dollar homes that are right along the ocean. At least one of them is on fire, and you have firefighters down there hitting the home, that home, and the homes nearby with water to try to stop this fire from hitting any of the other homes. Do you get a sense, Jonathan, in a case like this where you have the firefighters who are still ineffectively in harm's way? Yes, the fire has burned through there, but they're stuck between these structures and some brush that could still catch fire. How much warning will they have if they have to evacuate?
So we always approach any fire with caution. We do have our watch-out situations. There's safety officers in place, the command and the incident commanders, as well as the captains and chiefs on scene. They're kind of watching what the wind is doing, and at any given time, we know with wind changes how that can pose a threat to our ground units. So aside from the aerial attack and our ground attack, when we attack these fires, we always kind of keep one foot in the unburned and attack the seat of the fire. What I want to say, give me 1 second.
Sure. We're speaking with Jonathan Torres from LA County Fire. I assume he's getting some information. One of the questions I wanted to ask him was, at some point, there are some seaborne assets, and at some point, would they be brought to bear in a situation like this? But we're going to wait for it. Jonathan, for a second.
Okay, I apologize, I'm back.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, Jonathan, there are sort of ocean-borne assets that firefighters have as well. When is it appropriate to bring in those kinds of assets to a fire like this?
So more often than not, if they're going to be specifically used on boats and things of that nature, being this close to the coastline, we don't see the advantage of bringing them so close to the beach. We do run that risk of them running ashore.
Right.
But absolutely, they're at our disposal, but they're primarily used for boat fires.
Yeah, and it's so interesting when you see those two streams of water that have been on this home for a long time now, and still to see that much smoke billowing out, although white smoke versus dark smoke, which we saw earlier, so a good sign there. But another thing, Jonathan, I'm curious about, and I'm not sure if you know exactly how the fire started or where it started, but there was this hot spot right by PCH that firefighters were focused on. And just a reminder for people, and you do this all the time, I'm sure, say things you shouldn't be doing on a day like today when we have this high fire danger, like throwing things out of the window or lawn equipment or certain things. Can you remind folks of how quickly and how dangerous some things can be on a day like today?
Absolutely. So being in a red flag warning the way it is with the Santa Ana winds, we absolutely want to encourage people to not have any open flames. If they do need to pull over anywhere near vegetation, they be mindful of where their tailpipe on the exhaust of their car is. Obviously, we want to encourage people to never throw cigarette butts out fireworks, open flames, cooking outside, especially under these conditions. Even trailers dragging along with their chains on the freeway or on the streets. Any spark with the amount of winds that we're seeing can spark a fire, just as we're seeing right now. Currently, the cause is under investigation. We do have investigators on our way, but again, that remains under investigation.
We see one of the hand crews there and speak to the sort of the backbreaking nature of this kind of work, Jonathan. You were talking about the fact that they're cutting a line,
Yes.
But that is just. Boy, such physical work.
Absolutely. That's the ground force that we have there. One of our hand crews, absolutely. You can see them. I'm seeing their live feed now. Is like I said, scratching line, taking the unburned fuel and separating it from what has been burned to limit the spread of the fire. Very hard backbreaking work. You can see there's hand tools. They got axes, shovels, Pulowskis, and other hand tools of that nature that are, again, scratching that line manually and trying to separate the unburned fuel from the burned fuel.
For our viewers watching this morning that live in an area that is prone for the possibility of a wildfire, is there anything that they can do today just to make them feel more at ease?
Absolutely. Again, we want to encourage everyone, if they see something, they say something, report any sign of smoke or fire immediately to local fire department by calling 911. Again, we encourage people to visit our website, the LA County Fire Department, and then we have a system set, Ready, Set, Go is our wildfire action plan, and that's critical for residents so they can be familiar with that program. And it's important when it comes to pre-planning as well as evacuation information. Mm-hmm. Also, we want to prepare the public for public safety power shutoffs, especially during this elevated weather condition. Utility companies are known for temporarily shutting off power in these high-risk areas. So just to plan for that possibility and just to be ready. Again, we encourage people to visit fire.lacounty.gov /RSG for the Ready, Set, Go program.
You know, we were just looking at that bulldozer working its way up into the Malibu Bluffs there, and you can see all of that fresh brush there that has yet to catch fire, but you can actually see the trail of embers that have popped into some of this vegetation there, and it appears anyway like it may be starting new fires right in that brush. But going up as we were watching the bulldozer, if we can just pan down a second, that is some tough terrain there. You can't really tell here, but I think that's pretty much straight uphill. But that bulldozer is going uphill to cut that line, not just to use the fire trail, but actually to cut new line as it goes. Is that right?
Absolutely. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just doing it on a larger scale. Aside from the hand crews, they're putting in a fire break between, again, the unburned and the burned fuel. It's amazing what these vehicles can do. I mean, if you ever stood next to one, they're enormous. They look like a building, and the work they're doing is just hats off to them. Keeping the rate of spread down and doing a lot of hard work.
And and it's also very dangerous work, because we of course have had in years past bulldozers that have gone over the edge in hillside situations. The good news here is that it's daylight.
Yes.
These folks know exactly where they're going, and they are monitoring as they go. But it is incredible work that they're doing in terrain that, again, from this angle we can't really tell, but that is a slope. It's definitely a slope going uphill.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Some of the terrain there we know is very sheer and vertical. And again, it's just a testament to the hard work that the men and women of the LA County Fire Department, as well as the heavy equipment unit there, the brush crews, I mean, the aerial assault and the air attack, I mean, it's all a combined effort to try to keep the residents of LA County safe.
Jonathan Torres, PIO with LA County Fire, we so appreciate your time and your expertise. Thank you so much.
And our thoughts are with those firefighters.